face.
What's going on? You know what time it is. That's what I said. I was like, dang, if I can't get rid of this all this glycerin, I guess that's
Tell
happiness or whatever. I don't know. But we here. It's Wind Down Wednesday. It is Wind Down Wednesday. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know who it is. There ain't no need to explain who I am and who I'm sitting with because you already know who I'm
You
sitting.
know it.
So it's Wednesday and welcome everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What's going on, sis? How you doing? How you been? What's
I'm good.
happening?
It's a lot going on right now.
It's a lot going on. A lot. Just trying to settle down and settle in. But every time you turn around, you end one thing, you got to start something else. So it is what it is. We're doing what we do, and we're trying to make this thing happen. So y'all know I'm Sandy. I'm sitting here with my girl, and she out and about doing what she do as always, because we
You
always
know it. Always on the move. Always on the run.
always on the move and run, and always trying to enjoy family, which is what she's doing. Um, but we ain't gonna be long with y'all, but we might be long with y'all, but we gonna talk about it tonight. So, how your week been, sis? I know it's been kind of, but how your week been going?
Oh, it's been good. It's going fast. Again, we just went to a funeral, so just kind of just pushing forward. A little bit at a time
Got to make it happen.
for
Got
sure.
got got to keep life going to a certain point, but yet we got to stop and enjoy those that have been a part of our life forever, for a long time. And it's the unfortunate piece. My condolences to you and your family, but the unfortunate piece is that sometimes we do lose loved ones, um,
For sure.
and it's beyond our control. But you know, they will forever live in our memories and our hearts. So definitely my condolences to you and your family. Definitely. So other than that, life is good. God is good. Y'all know how we say it. It is all good. What's up, AJ? Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. You know what time it is. It's Wind Down Wednesday time. I didn't see you this weekend, AJ. Um, I didn't see you this weekend at all. I'm just trying to recoup from the weekend because it was a busy, busy, busy weekend for me. And I'm actually trying to recoup and recover and start feeling better. So today I am feeling a little bit better. My body is getting back. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with being at work. Somebody got to make the money. Might as well be you, AJ. Might as well be you. But I am recovering. I'm still drinking my kombucha because you got to drink that kombucha to give you that energy so you can get back to the norm. My workout regime hadn't started yet. It will be. It might not start till Monday, but it's been a great week. Been a great week. She said it was no fine. Had to work out. What? You had to work out weekend, girl? You missed it. Cincinnati was popping. Cincinnati was on and popping. Let me say that. It was busy this weekend. It was humping downtown. They had a lot going on downtown, but it was a great weekend for the city of Cincinnati, for the people that came in. They had concerts out at Riverbend. So it was just a busy, busy, busy weekend for everybody. Um, Mango Passion is my favorite. Okay, okay. I don't drink out. I just stick to one. I stick to one. I'm not all into that trying to do different flavors of anything. I mean nothing. I'm just your normal regular person. So give me the ginger. Give me the ginger and I'm good because that's what I do. But anyway, Cincinnati was popping this weekend. They had the Soul Food Festival going on. They had FC Cincy going on. They had the Reds going on, and they had a music festival, which I'm mad about because you got all this stuff going on the music festival. To make it make sense. I mean, is it me or is it the city of Cincinnati is trying to include everybody else in on the music festival, but they're not going to the music festival. causing the big old congestion downtown, and people want to go down there because of the reds and all that other stuff. So, but it was
everything at one time on
crazy.
one day, which is odd.
Well, it ain't really odd, but that's how Cincinnati is. You know, I'm not from here. I was just talking about this the other week. I'm from Alabama, and they'll let you know down in Alabama if they like you or don't like you. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They will let you know. Up here, it's conservative and racist all at the same time. You know, they don't want you to know they are, but then they are. And,
right.
And that's cliquish, absolutely cliquish, which doesn't make sense to me. Jealous. You can't have, and I was just talking about this with a friend today. What it doesn't make any sense to me is if you and I are kicking it and we having a great time, and then I go kick it with somebody else and we have a great time, you shouldn't be jealous because I'm kicking it with them too. But I didn't invite you with me and them. But me and you just got through hanging out. But then when you hang out, it ain't like you invite me. So what's the big deal? Everybody gets to, you know, have a great time regardless of who you hang out with. So the jealousy piece that's what I don't understand about Cincinnati. I mean, and the women are bad here about that. They are horrible, you know. But I'm not saying all of them are. Some of them are. But that's why I say it's conservative and racist at all the time. And they jealous and they cliquish. And, you know, if I don't like you, guess what? I don't like you. Period.
Right. It is what it is.
It is what it is. No ifs, ands, buts about it. But anyway, let's get back to the nitty gritty. Janet Jackson, you know, scared me there for a minute. She scared me for a minute. AJ agrees with the cliquish and the conservative racist piece. But Janet, I was nervous when she first started because I was like, okay, she ain't really singing, you know, she ain't really dancing. I get it. She 50 years old, maybe 50 plus, and you know, she ain't moving her body. Ain't none of us moving our bodies like we used to.
And it's hot, right?
And it was hot. I mean, and she had on all them big old clothes up there on that stage. With 1,000 fans blowing. But she came out a little weak, and I don't know if it was the microphone system. I don't know what it was, but she kind of picked up later on in the show or whatever, you know, shortly right after that. And she did her thing. I mean, you know, she did her thing. She didn't disappoint. I think Cincinnati is happy about the way it turned out. What I did not like is Fantasia didn't show up, and they got Keisha Cole. She started out.
And I heard that was a wreck. That was a mess. The Keisha Cole was just off the chain. Not in a good way, but just kind of ghetto. And you know, y'all remember this every song. This was kind of a little ridiculous.
Well, my thing is Janet did the same thing. That's what I tell people. Janet asked the same question that Keisha asked. What y'all want to hear? You know, Janet named songs, you know, and then she went and sang one, you know, whatever song it was. So my thing is preparation. Janet had time to prepare for the Jazz Fest, and Keisha did not have that time. Keisha tried. Yes,
Melanie said Keisha tried.
My niece was here enjoying it. Keisha did not have the time to prepare to get out on the stage and do what she needed to do, but with me not haven't seen her in a while, I didn't think she did too bad. I thought she did pretty good for the short time that she had to be here. So, I mean, I ain't knocking her. She was like, she appreciated the people for not, because they did not boo her. They didn't. So she must have done a great job or a good job because the city didn't boo her. Because you know how the Cincinnati is. And the people, they will boo you in a minute.
Yeah, no patience.
Right on off the stage. They will boo you. It's almost like you be at what is it, BET? When the dancing man come out, didn't no dancing man come out. He didn't come out playing the tambourine or nothing. So she did good. Considering the short time that she had to be on stage. But overall, I think it turned out to be a decent show. The OJs, God bless their heart, did not do
Uh-oh.
it. The bad thing about it was people started leaving the show early after Janet. Well, let's just face it. Everybody just wanted to see Janet. People were there on Saturday night to see Janet. After Janet finished, nobody came out until after the fact and said the OJs are in the building. They will be performing. Nobody said that until they got ready to come on stage. So whenever by that time, heck, the whole stadium had emptied.
Wow.
People had left. Eddie Levert, I pray that he's better because he had COVID and pneumonia at the same time. So he didn't make it. But whoever the guy was that was singing sounded just like him. And I think he did. I think they did a good job considering that Eddie wasn't there. But this is their last hurrah. And so it's kind of like you didn't see Eddie, but you saw the original OJs, the whoever's left. What up, Jennifer? Yes, sir. Roll Tide is in the building. And mentioning Roll Tide, y'all know football season about to hit us in the mouth, and I can't wait. I cannot wait because I love watching me some football. I really particularly like watching booties and legs in those pants.
For sure.
On a professional level, not them kids in college, but on a professional level. So overall, the jazz festival was pretty good. It wasn't bad. I think, from my understanding, it was 90. They sold $90,000+ in tickets, or not $90,000, 90,000 plus tickets.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Mel. Mel. I like watching booties and legs when it's a nice man walking by. But yeah, so they sold 90,000 plus tickets. So
that's a lot.
That's a lot. Not including the people that did not go to the festival, that was just walking around, with the vendors, and then hanging out. Found Square and Washington Park had something going on the weekends too. So it was a bit busy downtown. So yes, Mel, My niece was here as always. She come every year, and we enjoy the festival, and we had a great time. Great time. As I always do. I don't care where I go, I'm gonna have a good time. So with that being said, the festival, we came, who's next? Who should they bring next? Now, Charlie Wilson, to be his age, to be 70 years old, the man's still kicking it.
Right.
We were wondering. Now, Phil Penn, that is not
true. Lord. What was she doing, Phil? What was she doing?
That is not true. Tell him, Mel. My niece Melanie knows. That's Potty Mouth Phil. That's what my niece called him, Potty Mouth Phil.
Oh, Lord.
I was just being me, having a good time, walking around, seeing folks, dancing. As you know, this is what I do. Even at my own events, that's what I do. My own personal parties, I do the same thing. I have a good time. I make sure I have a good time with hopes that everybody else around me is having a good time. But Charlie Wilson being 70, hey, Phil, Melanie said, stop it. The question came up about Charlie Wilson. I had this conversation earlier with somebody too. Do you really think that he is still, his sexual life is still the same? Here go.
How did that come about?
She knows
what I'm talking about.
Hey, Phil. And that was me and you. Ain't nobody heard nothing. Ain't nobody heard a thing. Well, they were talking about how he moves on the stage. How he wasn't short-winded, and he's up there talking about his his life that he's gone through and the stuff that he suffered, and he recently had 2 knee surgeries, and he's doing better, and how God has blessed him. So on that very same night, the conversation, somebody asked the question, well, how do you think his sex life is? And I'm like, well, heck, if the man's still moving around at 70 years old up on the stage, I don't know how young his wife is. I think she's younger than he is. I would hope that he can still do what he needs to do without taking the blue pill. But if he needs,
who knows?
Who knows? I mean, He was moving around pretty good. So I ain't in his household. So I would say if he could move like
Right.
that on the stage, then
And
I'm
anything's possible. Who knows?
yes, his
I mean,
personal.
it's people that take their clothes off for a minute for a living, and they look like they can move, and then when it come down to it, they can't. So who knows?
Who knows? Tank looked good. Tank looked.
Always with a shirt off, of course.
Tank was glistering, honey. Tank was
He
glistering,
was glistering.
glistering. Oh, he from head to toe, he was glistering. So he did a good job too. So that overall, the festival was good. The attire was different. They were
Okay.
covered up. They were better. They weren't all.
So, a little bit more appropriate.
Yes, it was appropriate. It was really a grown and sexy affair,
Oh,
and they came dressed accordingly for that. So it was good. It was a good time.
which is refreshing, which I'm sure is refreshing because to go a lot of places that you're supposed to, a lot of people
Right.
are wearing stuff that
Yeah.
other that shouldn't be worn in public. That should not be worn in public.
Yeah. So it wasn't bad. It wasn't the concert was pretty good. Everybody did what they needed to do and dressed appropriately and accordingly. And we just had a great time. We had a wonderful time. The people that I was surrounded by, that I was hanging out with, we had a good time. So, from my understanding, some people got into a little push and shove down at in the seats, because people were standing up in their way and they wanted to see and they couldn't see. So it was like, you pay your money. I don't need you to be standing up. But you have to remember, when you pay your money, know where you're gonna sit. Because if you don't want nobody
Yeah.
standing up in front of you, then don't buy your ticket on the floor then. That's the worst place to be at the jazz festival. It's on the floor. Floor seating is horrible at the jazz festival.
Yeah.
My opinion. That's just how I feel. Because I don't buy tickets on the floor.
Right.
We have our own area. And next year is probably gonna even be better than this year. So we just gotta pull a couple more strings and make it happen.
You gotta pay to play. You gotta look up look up how they have the stage set up and plan your seats accordingly.
Yep. Absolutely, Mel. Mel, no, we got the best seats in the house. We got the best seats in the house, and we're gonna have those seats and some more seats and some more seats. So every time I turn around, there's somebody will be over there. So I got to call on Monday. I wanted to give them some time to catch up because they might not even be in the office this week. Either I'm gonna stop by there next week so I can increase my seat numbers. Yes, that go my niece right there. That go my other niece. My niece told me, yes, good seats, baby. I'm trying to tell you, we got the best seats in the building. We get to have our own good time and we get to celebrate each other and everybody that's there. So everybody know everybody. And it's just a big old party right there. Just a big old party. So next year is going to be wonderful. And we're going to be doing some things. But I don't know. Who do you think they should bring next year? Do you think Fantasia should be cut out the show? What's up, Niecy Pooh? I'll see you Saturday morning. Do you think that Fantasia should no longer come to the festival?
I don't know.
Twice.
Well, it seems like they bought her a couple of times in a row. Yeah, I just think I feel like that they should bring new, fresh artists. I know that some of the older artists are staples, but I think they need to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, my niece says she's done with her. Yeah, because she did that 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, the last jazz festival. She did that and said she was sick, and she said at this time that she was sick and she wasn't coming. My thing is she really sick? Because I know it's her anniversary. It's her wedding anniversary, and the question is she sick or is she celebrating her wedding anniversary and don't want to come to Cincinnati and be bothered with the jazz band, or would she rather be with her husband? Hey, you're in the business to make money. I get it. You're married too, so you only come to Cincinnati when once in a while, ever often, So, but you're with your husband every day. So should she come back or should she not? I love Fantasia, but I don't think they're gonna ask her back. I don't think they're gonna ask her back up in here. So I hope they get Mary J for next year if they can.
It might
Snoop
not.
Dogg.
Yeah, that would be nice. I mean, just mix it up because there's so many artists out there that hasn't been here. It's a list of long artists that they can bring that they just looking over or choosing not to. But mix it up because it's stale. You get old. Nothing's wrong with the staples like of the older singers, like when Frankie Beverly had it on lock or whatever. Like nothing's wrong with that, but like mix it up, bring a variety. Don't bring the same person you bought 4 years ago or 5 years ago. Like it's just too much good music out there to just focus on these same handful of artists.
I'm with you, Phil. New Edition, Boys to Men. I would love to see them perform. Both of them, they can come on. Boys to Men can come on one night. New Edition can come the other night.
Yeah.
No, we need fresh and new.
Yes, that's what. Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even SWV, TL.
You could do Mint Condition, Tony. Like I mean, it's so many artists. You don't have to do new art. You don't have to do the artists. You don't have to do like Chris Brown and stuff like that. You can still keep it nice but do different artists.
Grown and sexy.
Y'all never had. They ain't never bring Kiki Wyatt. Like y'all always bring her in these smaller platforms. Put her on a larger platform.
Yep, that she can come in. I mean, it's just a lot.
Faith hasn't been here in over 10 years.
It's a lot. Who hasn't?
Faith.
I know. It's a lot of people that they can bring in. And it probably won't even cost. Tank did. Yes, Phil. Tank did a good show.
He always does that, Phil. It's for the ladies. It's for the ladies.
It is for the ladies. Even if he's on the inside, I saw him before. The last time I saw him was with Fantasia in Dayton. He took his shirt off then. He don't care where he is. He performs for the women, and the men are going to take their women to see Tank because that's what she want to do. She want to see him. So they, you're going to keep a house, a happy home. But Tank did good. Like I said, he was glistering from head to toe. And I got some photos of my Mr. Tank doing what he do. Yes. I can't post them because Facebook may take it down and, tell me that it's
a little spicy.
Yeah, they might put me in jail. But I must say, Tank brought the noise, but he did a good job, though. He did a good job. But my thing is, it's like, what's the difference between Tank and Janet is Janet had on all them clothes. She didn't have on anything that was showing her body. She didn't do anything. Mel, you already know about Tank. She didn't have on nothing showing her body. And I think that would men be saying the same thing if she had on a crop top and some tight pants and some, stilettos or gym shoes or what? No, because they would be talking about how beautiful her body is. They would be saying she had a bad body, she's a bad girl at her age. They would be complimenting her on how she looked. So why can't you compliment Tank on how his body looked at his age? Because he's over 40. He's 40-some years old. Janet is 50 or 52, right. 52. And she still looks good for her age. So, to give them their props and their compliments on their bodies, I'm like, what's the difference? What's the difference?
My major thing is they just need to mix it up. Like
they do.
They just need to bring more of a variety. And I think they'll have even more people show up.
So she 56 and she looked darn good for 56. Well, you know what happened, Mel? So you know what happened when?
Oh Lord,
yeah,
yes, we do. And Janet, she's always been self-conscious anyway. So
yeah, she always have been. But then too, on that note, when people say that about her being in the Super Bowl, I said Justin Timberlake wasn't with her.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that whole thing.
Timberlake. I still think that whole thing was Justin Timberlake's fault, not hers. But he was the right complexion.
Well,
and it didn't come back to haunt him at all.
Right.
It hurt her career at that point. Because you and I know, everybody knows that if you perform at the Super Bowl, you the bombdiggity.com when
Your numbers go up. Your numbers go up.
go up. Yeah.
Yeah, your credibility goes up. Yeah.
And but after that, she didn't have that opportunity, but he did. He kind of like blew up after that, but she didn't. Her reputation was kind of tarnished because of that, but his wasn't. He had the right complexion. She didn't. So it is what it is. Do what it do. That's the way things happen in this world all the time. And on that note, let's talk about the right complexion and things that are being said around here in this city of Cincinnati, state of Ohio, with the police. Now, y'all know how we do it. How do you think? Okay, if I'm white, I'm white. Just say I'm white. If I use the N word, why do you think I use the N word? Does the N word just come out? I mean, I'm around people, black folks or whatever. It's like they use it like it's still a bad word to use, period. But they use it in conversation like it's nothing. But when you're using it in a derogatory way and you're being a white individual and you in the uniform, what do you think about that?
It's not a good look. It's just, it seems as though it's been okay. Some black people, and I've personally witnessed this, have okayed their colleagues or white friends to use it because they don't want, they want them to feel comfortable. And I'm just like, huh? You want them to feel comfortable? To me, it doesn't make sense. But especially the younger generation, they're okay with and they're comfortable with their, little Caucasian friends saying, using that terminology. But professionally, as far as police officers, I just think it's really irresponsible.
I think it's this is me. If you don't use it consistently, if it's not in your vocabulary, it's not gonna come out. What's going on,
Tracy? Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in. I truly believe if words are not in your vocabulary daily, then you're not going to use it. I don't care how mad you get. I don't care what's going on around you. I don't care if you stump your toe. If you don't use that language, it is not going to come out with whatever goes on.
Right.
Bill Black said the way she hates African Americans, she can't go back on the streets if they don't fire her. I agree. I mean, because my thing is, you said it, and she didn't just say it once. I believe she's probably said it 2 times.
Right.
So how she truly feels about some kids walking across the street, about somebody that's sitting next to her in a car and they not moving fast enough. And then she said effing people and effing ends. I hate these effing ends. Come on now.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It is, because she uses it every day. It's in her vocabulary, and she's around those same people using that same language, wearing that same uniform that she wears every day. You're right, Phil. That's pure hatred. Pure hatred. Phil, how you gonna let somebody else man your annual post on the club level?
Oh Lord.
Oh, here goes Tracy.
They don't went back. She don't went back to the Jazz Fest.
She said she expect nothing less to come out of District 3. And I agree with you, Tracy. Me being a former law enforcement, and Tracy, he was there. You just probably didn't see him because there was so many people up on the club level, but he was there. You should have asked somebody where he was, because he was right there around the corner for almost the whole time. I agree, Tracy. As a former law enforcement officer, knowing, I'm gonna tell you, we don't like, I don't know how many black folks likes going over to District 3. I don't know how many of them like. I don't know how many police officers like going to District 3. I don't know. Black, not in your corner when I walked past. He probably went to the bathroom, Tracy, but he was there. Black officers do not like going to District 3. And if they are over there, they want to get out. So the question is, why? Why is it that the Caucasian officers, the white officers, like going to District 3? They do. I mean, some of them love being over in District 3. The District 3 is the west side of Cincinnati, folks. But why is it that they like going over there and that black officers don't like going over there? Even when we were in the academy, it was a difference between the west side and all the other sides. You know, what's the big deal about the west side? If you went to Elder, or if you went to Seton, or if you went to somewhere else, you know, on the west side, why was that such a big deal? But the rest of the parts of the city didn't matter. So my brother-in-law started out in 3. I prayed him up out of there.
I hear you on that one, Tracy.
I know that's right. He probably didn't even want to be in District 3. I'm sure if you ask him, Tracy, he'll say no, he did not want to be there. Praise God and thank you, Jesus. I never had the opportunity. God never allowed me to go over there because they probably would have kicked me out anyway. Over there with all that drama. I'm from Alabama too. They probably would have kicked me right.
Yeah, because you speak your mind. You speak your mind. They don't like that.
Nope. See, exactly. He did not like it. But the thing about it too, here's another thing. She ain't the only one. There's another police officer. Phil say in for 32 years they never worked in Dick. Phil, they would have kicked you out too. You'd have put your hands on somebody. You'd have laid hands on somebody over in 3 already. I mean, I already know you, brother. You would have laid hands on somebody. But she's not the only one. It's gonna come out somebody else, and I believe she was in District 3 too. Somebody else in District 3 that used the N-word too, and she was white. They moved her from 3 to another district, but she is patrolling the street. She's in a police car patrolling the street.
But it's sad because moving somebody to a different district is not addressing the issue.
Even putting them on the desk is not addressing the issue.
It's definitely not. That's not okay.
It's never been okay. My whole thing about Cincinnati Police Department is they don't really get to the nitty gritty of when they have these diversity trainings that we have to go to yearly. They don't really address them. They don't address the real issues that we have internally or externally. They don't address them. You know, when you got a whole unit that's all white and you ain't got no black folks in there, you explain that to me in the Cincinnati Police Department. So how is your diversity training how you gonna teach somebody something if you got a whole unit that's white? How you gonna teach them?
You can't. That doesn't make sense.
Is Captain Petty still up? No, she's not. She's in District 2. Which is in Hyde Park on Erie Avenue. But how can you have an all-white unit with no blacks in there? And you talking about we a diverse department. You're not a diverse department. I done seen it, done been in it, done lived in it, worked in it for 22 years. They are not a diverse department. And they don't speak up on diversity the way they should. Point blank, period. It's political. We all know it's political. Everything is political. But when you got officers on the street running the community, you're trying to be a community-based department, how do you still allow them to put that uniform back on and go back out there to the community and treat them with the respect that they deserve? How can you expect that to happen?
You can't. You can't. If you're not part of the, helping change and do things right from the inside out, then you're part of the problem.
But when you have, and it's the leadership. Let's just take it on back to the leadership. It's if you got a good leader that is diverse, diverse, don't have an issue with it, then okay, you might be able to conform some of your people in the department to be better when they're out there in the community. But my problem is, once again, Tracy, I'm trying to figure out how Hills get to speak publicly before the chief. Hey, good question.
It's all jacked up. We all trying to figure out a whole lot of stuff.
But once again, like I
Good
said,
point.
it's political. Everything is political. Everything in CPD is political. Trust me when I tell you that. But one thing that I will say, a lot of people did not like Tom Stryker, but I did. Now, he did some people, he treated people accordingly, period. But I like Stryker. A lot of people did not like him, but I liked him. He was one of them. Either he liked you or he didn't, but you gonna know it. He let it be known. And if you said something or did something, he made sure that you were chastised or whatever appropriately. He made sure that your disciplinary actions, he made sure that. But once again, Tracy, it's political. Dan Hill said he has immunity. So with immunity, that means he can speak and say
Whatever
he wants as the FOP president. So that's
I thought we all had that freedom of speech.
I thought so too. But
it's I guess that's something extra special then, huh?
he has his own way of doing things. Let's say that, but that has never been.
Well, that's for sure.
He's been addressed, but nothing has ever been done to him about. Yeah, pretty much. And within the police department, he has his own way of doing things, and he's never been disciplined for doing whatever he does or saying whatever he says. So it is what it is. I don't know if it ever change, but when you have people that's filled with hatred,
especially in places of power, that'll forever be an issue. It'll forever be a struggle.
Yep.
That's just how it is.
And some people let the power go to their heads. But when this next, because my question is, what are you gonna do about these officers using the N-word? I mean, what do you do? Like Phil said, she ain't gonna get fired. Phil and I know that. She is not gonna be fired. She will be on the desk for a while, but she will be back out in that police car patrolling. And the reason why is because the police department is short-handed with officers. They don't have enough officers working. So
which is not okay, because what's going to happen is there's going to be a more extreme incident that's going to happen, and then folks are going to try to backpedal. When the right thing can be done now, the disciplinary action that needs to happen can happen now, so that she can be made an example. You know what I mean? Of this is not what we're accepting, to move forward.
Yep, but the department is not going to use her or utilize her in a way to make her an example for others. They're not going to do that, because that's a lawsuit waiting to happen. Because a lot of people there's a lawsuit out now from another officer using the N-word while making an arrest, and then a black officer using the N-word, telling black folks, y'all need to stop acting like a bunch of ends. But they have already set the precedent with those two. So there's nothing going to happen with the next two that's coming up.
Which is unfortunate.
And the thing about it is, if they do fire them, they'll be able to go to another department. Or if they force them to resign, they'll be able to go to another department and work. I'm just saying. That's the unfortunate piece. If they're fired, they may not be able to. Then again, I don't know. They might be. Look at Roach. He was able to go work at another
department. Yep.
After lying.
Yep.
So
keeping everything, pension, keeping all of that. It's sad.
It is. So
it's sad. It's irresponsible. And and you let this pass, then something else is gonna come. And that's always the case, especially when you're dealing in this realm, in that realm, and with politics.
Very political, very, very, very political. But who stands up? Who's going to stand up for that? Who's going to stop that? If we won't ever be on the same page, we will not ever be on the same page. It's going to always be a separation. It's like they say, it's a separation of church and state. It's going to be a separation of black and white. Some blacks will pick the white side and some whites will pick the black side. So it's always going to be a separation between the two. It'll never be a situation where or a time where we all will come together unless unfortunately if someone dies. That's the only time that we're going to come together and be on one accord is when somebody dies. But after that, it's always going to be a separation. Tracy, Roach pulled my sister over in Evendale 15 years ago. Glad she's alive. I know that, girl. I know that's right, girl. I know that's right. But my whole thing, I'm glad but we all alive.
Right.
Because I'd have been pulled over. And I have to be extremely careful because I am black. And I don't care. It ain't all about the black men. It's about the black women.
Right.
So we all need to be careful when we encounter the police.
And just do your best that you humanly possibly can to avoid even being pulled over. Stay on your P's and Q's. Do what you need to. And it's sad that we even have to say that. I even have to say that.
Yeah.
Be on your best. Like, we're human, we're people, mistakes happen. We're not going to be perfect. But when it comes to life or death, especially in when you're dealing with this type of culture of my complexion versus somebody else's, and me living versus someone else living, we gotta stay on point.
Yep, we have to.
I don't want to see no lights behind me. And I know I probably done did, I'm doing everything I can, and we all with our shade of color is walking on eggshells, all the time. And I'm sure men more so than women, but period, just being black. And so I don't even trying to be pulled over for nothing. A tail light, you ain't put your turn signal on, you ain't stop at the stop sign long enough, like none of that. Like
none.
You do your best to give no reasons to see those red and blue lights flashing behind you. I don't care what area or what state or what city you're in.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't like it either. I can't stand it. And I'm fearful for everybody out there that gets even pulled over by the police. I don't care. We just had an incident here. Thank God she used her training skills and she's still alive. Most of the time, people panic or get into a cement mode and don't move. But thank God she made it out. But unfortunately, as a law enforcement officer, she had to take it. But like I said, thank God that she made it out. And praying for the family that lost a loved one during that incident. But if the roles were reversed, unfortunately, this city would be in an uproar right now. But
baby, listen.
But you can't expect if you get pulled over. Don't pull a gun out on a police officer unless you want to. Don't do that. Do not do that. Do not reach in your car and grab your gun and pull it out on the police.
No. What you need to do. Have your interior light on, have your hands on the steering wheel, have all the windows down in the car, all of that. Radio off, all that.
Because at the end of the day, you can pay a ticket out. You can get out of jail for a stolen car. You'll be able to go back home at some point. Even if you don't have no driver's license, you'll still be able to live the next day.
To tell about it. Exactly.
To talk about it. Just don't make no crazy sudden moves.
No.
Everything is good. It's like a lot of police officers are getting ambushed these days in other cities and states.
Yep.
And it's crazy because now, policing is not like it was. It's definitely not like the community policing.
Okay, Tracy, you're right. You can't get out of the
Right.
morgue. I mean, that's a done deal. Once
Yeah,
that's gonna happen, that's it.
it
It's
is.
over.
So you
And police officers, like, even though you retired, I mean, you could tell the people too, like, y'all are trained to go home. And so if you get pulled over, you definitely don't want to make this officer feel threatened in any
right,
type of way, you
right.
know, period, you know.
Period.
So you want to go home, you don't want them to feel threatened, and that's just basically how you got to look at it.
Yep.
And you don't know, nowadays anything can threaten somebody. A cough, a sneeze, you know what I mean?
Anything. Yep.
Raising a hand, making a
Yep.
comment.
Yep.
Everybody's on eggshells about every little thing. Every something is a problem with everything. It's a problem
Yep.
with something. So do your best that you humanly possibly can to not get pulled over. But if you do, keep your hands where they need to be. Keep
Absolutely.
your windows down. You may get a nasty, angry, mean cop. Be nice. Be nice. Be nice. Be nice.
Yep.
As hard as that may be, bite your tongue. If it's gonna keep you alive to tell the story the next day.
Exactly. Make their day instead of them making yours. How
I
about
like that.
yeah?
I like that.
How about that? In a good way, though. In a good way. So
For sure.
we have this week has been great. The weekend was wonderful. Praying for you, sis, and your family.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
What's going on, PJ? Power and Union. You already know. Chief company woman, man. Well, it depends on the chief. It depends on the chief. Now, TJR. It depends on the chief because I'm not gonna say the last chief that CPD had. He was a company man, but the one that they currently have now, I don't think the one that's interim. I don't think she's a company man or woman. I don't. That's just mine. That's just me. She ain't no company need nothing. She, whatever pretty much she says, goes or does or whatever, ain't nothing gonna happen to her. They're not gonna do anything to her. I think she's doing everything she can to stay in that seat. But she only got 2 years, maybe less than 2 years to even be in the seat. But it's gonna be very interesting to see. My disappointment with the city of Cincinnati, state of Ohio, is they have not even put out an announcement looking for another chief. They have not even done that yet. So what's the holdup?
Right.
If you get somebody in here that's going to do the job and get the job done without being scared to get it done, then that's what the department needs. They need somebody that's going to come in and do the job. You don't have no favorites and all that other stuff. Do the job, get it done.
Just getting back to integrity and getting back to character and get back to values and what's important,
Hold people accountable. Hold them accountable when they do the stupid, dumb stuff. Like you said the word. Hold them accountable. Use them as an example.
Right.
Talk about it in diversity training, and they don't. They do not. Trust me when I tell you, they're not going to even talk about this. They're not going to talk about this at the police academy in the training. They're not. They're not going to say they don't need to use it. They're not going to do that. The city manager is interim. He's interim too. He used to be a lawyer somewhere, and he done went against the grain against black folks. He's done some things too. So get all these old raggedy people out of office and put somebody in there that's gonna do something. I mean, that's gonna be even across the board. Will you ever find that? I don't know. Will they ever find that? The city manager search is a disappointment. It's obvious AFTAB favors. Absolutely. I agree with AFTAB and his favors. They have not started. They're saving it for the white woman.
Sitting there already.
I don't know. I think the reason the white woman used. Yeah. Well.
Wow.
I think Isaac is gone over to UT. And he got that seat because of the interim chief at CPD. Although people say he didn't, but he did because she's on the board over at UC. Although she says she didn't have nothing to do with it, but trust and believe. Things happen behind closed doors. If
For
I
sure.
I leave, I get you in the seat. But then I'm gonna need you to get me in the seat that you see. Come on now, it's a favor for
And
us.
because we all know it ain't what you know, it's who you know.
And how you know them. Period. The end. But yeah, she won't get fired. She won't get fired. She won't get fired, T. Ain't no way they're not gonna fire her. They're not gonna use her as an example because she'll file a lawsuit and then she'll get her job back. What's up, Lolita? That's my cousin.
Thanks for tuning in.
From Alabama. Yeah. Wow. It's always that's how a lot of people don't know how that thing work internally. If they like you and if you suck butt, you get to move up the ladder. If they don't like you, they will hold you back, keep you back, and you ain't going nowhere. And it's just that simple. Hey.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. You know, a little blonde, a little platinum. I do a little something. I appreciate you. Thank you.
What she does. Yes. Yes, I said that. Yes, I did. That's what that's what they
suck. Yep.
They suck butt. And if you do that, and yes, a massa, there's nothing that's gonna happen to you. They're going to allow you to move up and go anywhere and do this and do that. But if you're one of those like me that will stand up for what I believe is right, nah, they ain't gonna let you go nowhere. They ain't gonna let me move nowhere. But we do have some Uncle Toms on the department, though. Trust and believe that. Trust.
Oh yeah, in the world, period. Oh yeah, but you better believe it.
And they do that in order to get themselves moved into positions only to be used. Only to be used, because that's what, once you get there, they're gonna come back with, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be here.
Yep, it's all about the selfishness, not the selflessness.
So great tab so far after 7 months. Here's my thing. I'm not in the city of Cincinnati. I don't work for the city of Cincinnati anymore. I don't keep up with what he's done, but from what I see and hear on the news, I don't think he's done anything for the Black community. I do hear, and I heard something that he fibbed about to some prominent Black individuals in the city. He pretty much lied to them, but Tracy give him an A for the photos. I can't grade him, but from what I see, he hasn't done anything that he said he was gonna do. But we all know this is a stepping stone to get him to move to another position. He could be governor or state senator or something, or something. Tracy Dillingham, D on substance. She ain't even on council. She didn't make it, but I don't know. If you give Tracy Dillingham a D, or if she said Tab had the D for substance, then I don't know, because I don't keep up with the politics in the city of Cincinnati anymore.
Yes, it's so chaotic. It's chaotic.
Yep. So you give him a D. I can't grade him because I haven't seen, but I know I haven't heard, but I do know that he told a tale to some important people in the city of Cincinnati that he did not hold up his end of what he said he was going to do.
And it always goes that way. It's, some people are more shocked than others, but it's always that way. You say what you got to say to get in that place, and that be that.
But we all know it's political.
Right.
We all know
you say what you got to say to get where you want to get for your benefit, and then you just keep moving that way. And if you get away with it at this level, and everybody cool with it, you move up to the next level and next level. This is just how it goes. Eventually, it'll spill back off on you, but maybe it won't.
Absolutely. My whole thing is, Michelle Dillingham didn't win 3 times, so she gets no grade. That would be true. That would be true. But my thing is, if you're running for office, okay, so she didn't make it. So right now she should be making a stink or doing some more stuff in the city of Cincinnati in the city limits to get her name out there for whatever else. I mean, because there are other offices, political offices that she could run
Right. Yep.
and be a
Yep.
part of. Not necessarily saying it's got to be on council, but
Right.
she can
There's
run.
other ways she could be effective. You
Right.
know, if you can come, go in the front door, go in the back door, create a door on the side if it ain't one. You know, there's other ways, other methods that she could be tapping into.
Yep. Jam, I was getting ready to ask you about, I was getting ready to say about all the other council members that's in the city of Cincinnati, state of Ohio. As a whole, T, as a whole, what do you grade them as a whole? Everybody, all of the council members, old and new, how do you grade them right now? Because I don't hear any of them making a stink about nothing. Zero. None of them. Because there's not one of them came on the news and said nothing about these officers using the N-word. None of them. Not one. He gives city council, the whole entire city council, a club. Not one council member has stepped up and said anything about these officers using the N-word. None of them. Not a one. And I have asked the question, why is that? Because they could put pressure on AvTab to do something about it. That's the way I see it. They can put pressure on the city manager to do something about it. That's the way I see it. But they haven't done anything about these officers using the N-word.
Right.
Period. Nothing. Ain't said nothing. I continue to ask the question, why? And it should not be okay for a police officer, wherever they are, to use the N-word, regardless of who the individual is that they're talking about. They should never do that, ever, at all. And it should never be accepted. And they should be saying something about it.
And by not saying something, you're accepting it.
Right? If you don't say something, you do accept it.
You said, we know why council hasn't said anything. AvTab has control of council, so they look to him when it should be the other way around. Politics.
But what are you afraid of, though? What are you afraid of? There's nothing wrong with being true to who you are. I don't care what position you're in. There's no way I would be on council and not say something about these police officers that are supposed to be working for the city of Cincinnati.
For the people.
For the people. These council members got voted in by the people in Cincinnati. And so do your job, do your job. Don't sit there and be quiet. Do something about it. Do something about it. But once again, we can sit here and talk all day about it.
We can.
All day. What are we doing about it? It should be a group of people down there at the council meetings asking the question, what are you going to do about these officers using the N-word? Should be. I know it's easier said than done. People got to work and don't nobody want to do this, that, and the other. They don't want their faces out there. They would still want to be behind the scenes and all this, that, and the other stuff. But come on now. How many neighborhoods in the city of Cincinnati? 52? Why not have a representative from each community in the city of Cincinnati? Why not have a representative from each community? What are we gonna do about it? But we're not, because we know ain't nobody going from Hyde Park. They're not gonna do that.
No, yeah. And so with that being said, because nobody's saying anything, it's gonna continue.
Right. So you giving everybody a D. The Ohio State representatives, the Senate's on the Democrat side, D. They don't know how to cut deals to get people to our people. They don't. They'd rather fight the Republicans instead of making things happen for the community. But politics. I will give Alicia Reese kudos for going against the Bengal Stadium being rebuilt or money being poured into the Bengal Stadium. I will give her kudos on that.
Yeah.
That's the thing Hamilton County needs is a freaking increase in taxes because those dummies didn't know how to build a freaking stadium. But yet you want to put the money all in FC Cincy And
And then on top of that, why we ain't using the stadium as us people, the taxpayers are starting to pay money. Why ain't we using the stadium?
FC Cincy don't want no events down there. They don't want nobody coming down there doing nothing. You ain't doing nothing on. And I give her A too. I give Alicia Reese an A because she is at county trying to speak up and tell the people what they need. You giving Stephanie Dumas a seat. She might not even should be in there. She probably not. That's the way I see it.
He got the whole roster going.
You know, there's somebody else there. Somebody else needs to be there. Alicia Reese needs help in the county commissioner department. She needs somebody on her side to help her fight for the people. That's,
right.
And I don't know if Smitherman should be Dumas or not. I'm not a fan favorite of Smitherman, but you know, it is what it is. Everybody got their own feelings and how they feel about stuff. But Alicia definitely needs help down there at the county commissioner. But they are tight. They are extremely tight. They have always been tight. But it is what it is. She needs help.
Yeah.
She needs man's help. And we should not be fighting against her. Nobody should be black running against Alicia Reese, the way I see it. You know, and we need to support her because she is fighting for her people. You know, she's doing what she can in that position. And I can't say that about everybody. I really cannot.
Right.
You know,
right. And have been for years.
I think I like Denise Treehouse. See, I know a little bit about politics and the people. And I don't like getting into politics, but I know it. Denise Treehouse, I give her a B because she does help too. I mean, and she's a nice person. You have to know her. You got to know her. She's very sweet and she is a nice person and she speaks up as well. So it's just, you just got to know, you know, we need to know the people that we vote for. And
right.
you need to hold them accountable. But
yeah,
Cincinnati need to do something about the new chief. They ain't even started the thing yet. They ain't even started looking. But on that note, hey,
y'all know what time it is. It's, you know, we could talk about politics all day, all night, all day.
Hey T, I'm gonna have to get you. I'm gonna send you the link. Hey, inbox me your information, T, and we can have you on one day if you want to. Now, most people scared to come on here because they don't want nobody to see their face.
So, it can be our special guest.
Not there, but we can have you on as a special guest and we can discuss the politics. So we can discuss the things that's going on in Cincinnati. The things you know, a lot of people don't know. So you can enlighten the people on things that are going on. Linda says she gave Alicia Reese an A. I did too. Because she does. She that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, all right now. Bring it on. We're ready.
Yep. Inbox me your information. I mean, I don't care if it's next Wednesday or the Wednesday after that or whatever. But
we get you in there.
We'll be happy to have you on and we could talk about whatever it is you want us to talk about because that's what we do.
That's for sure.
I try not to get into the politics, but I will and I can because I know a little bit about it. I thought about running for city council my own self, but I would have had to move back into the city of Cincinnati, but I don't know if I wanted to do that. I give Alicia Reese some props. She does support and look out for her black folks. She do. I mean, she really does. She did that when she was on council. She did that when she was a representative. So she does that. She did more than Cecil. Cecil ain't did nothing but hold the seat. He ain't did nothing. Well, I don't live in the city.
She don't live in the city. That wouldn't even be worth her time.
I would rather be in the city of Cincinnati, so I know I can make.
Yeah, she'll have a different. Yeah, the impact is different.
Sure. I ain't gonna be just seen. I'll be seen and heard because I'm in that seat to make a difference. I don't believe in somewhere where you can't make a difference. You know,
right?
And I know I can, and I know I have. I made a difference in my career as law enforcement officer, so I know I can do it again. Yes, Cecil Thomas is horrible. So I mean, I don't.
That's called a space taker upper.
Yeah, he's just holding the seat.
Space saver.
He needs to go sit down somewhere. His time is up. So we can continue to talk about this. But hit me up. My mama was a CPD. Okay.
Right now. Yeah, so you know a lot then.
So your mom and your mama know.
Yeah.
Your mother was, you know. know, just like my daughter knows, she knows a lot about CPD and CFD. So she knows a lot about the city because she stay connected as well as I do. But
Well, yeah, we're gonna have you on. We're gonna have you on. So another
hit
it's
us
another
up,
day.
too. Hit
Yeah.
me up, inbox me your info, and we'll get together. I'll call you and we can, get you on and we can talk about whatever it is, whether it's next Wednesday or the Wednesday after, whenever you tell us when you're available, and we can do this.
Make it happen.
There's a
Yes.
lot of stuff going on in the city of Cincinnati that the people need to know about, that we need to talk about. My thing is, why do we always have to wait for the jazz festival to have a real jazz festival? Why can't Black folks get together, a whole one unit, and have a festival themselves instead of don't get it twisted.
Waiting for that.
I love the Santangelos. I love the Santangelos. Those are my people. But why do we have to wait for them to put on a festival? Why can't we have a Black organization, a group of entertainers, entrepreneurs, promoters, or whatever it is, get together and host and put on a festival? We need to stop looking at the darn Heritage Bank Arena, because the Heritage Bank Arena is horrible. Horrible. Blonde should be there too.
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna be here. You know, we talk radio, so we together. So I'm definitely.
That's what we do.
I will definitely be in the building.
What about what J. Raj do?
Oh Lord, see, we ain't got time for this today. We don't.
I don't know if he had the eyes. I don't know who had him. I don't know.
Lord have mercy.
Hit me up.
Yes, because this will continue until 8 o'clock.
Yeah, we're talking about all this. Hit me up. Message me on Facebook. Messenger me on Facebook. And then we'll talk about this. But I know a lot of things that we could do as Blacks in our community that we need to step up and do. But once again, I do help. I just help in a different way. I go to Corinthian Baptist Church, where my pastor is KZ Smith. So I work in the community just well as my pastor does, but I do things like kind of don't nobody know that I
right, because a lot of times it ain't for everybody to know. If you're doing something for folks, yeah, that ain't good to roll that way. People who are doing that, you got to watch them.
Yes, Angel, you know who our pastor is, the Reverend Dr. KZ Smith, Kazava at that, Bishop Kazava Smith. Y'all recognize. If you ain't doing nothing on Sunday, come on out to Corinthian Baptist Church. We start at 10 o'clock and we out by 12. So anyway, on that note, we're going to get up out of here. T, hit me up. Gregston, hit me up. Hit me up. I need your info. Hit me up. You want to be on here? We can talk about something. I would love to be honest, we got all these R&B concerts. We need to have a big gospel concert. I mean, huge. Just like they do the darn jazz festival. We need to do
huge. And we ain't had nothing like that since the convention center, when they would have those events like that, those gospel explosions,
Yes.
Bye, Tracy. Thank you for tuning in.
We need to work on that. It's easy to bring these R&B artists in here. They do that all the time. That's okay. But let me know. I put stuff out there and then somebody take my ideas and use them, which is okay. I don't mind sharing.
Just know where it came from. That's all.
Just remember where it came from. So we gotta go, people. We're 7 hours. That's our time. But
it's wind down Wednesday, and you already know we don't came past to the point of the show where we give our positive quote. So my positive quote is just time is slow. I mean, time is not holding still. Time is precious, and we never know when our number is called. So a lot of you guys are operating on tomorrow, but tomorrow may not come because somebody didn't go to sleep today and somebody didn't wake up today. So be grateful for all the time you have. Love on your family, love on your friends. Verbally express to people how you feel while you're here and while they're here, so that when your number is called, you have no regrets.
None.
That's a mouthful, but I'm telling you, you have to do it. It's important.
It's very important. And on that note, one of my sayings, and I truly believe in it, is learn to live and live to learn. Because you got to. You got to learn how to live in society. It's what we see going on right now. You got to learn how to live in it. So live to learn, but learn to live. And y'all know positive in, positive out, because it makes you more happier than it makes you sad. But on that note, but y'all know my favorite saying. You know my favorite saying. It is definitely always better to give than it is to receive. And we'll talk to you next week. Love you.
See you next Wednesday.